Well, hello, and welcome to LinkedIn Unleashed. I'm Susan Kuhn, founder of Susan Kuhn Social Media, and I'm so happy to have you in class. I'd like to start out not by talking about LinkedIn, but by talking about learning, and by corollary, talking about teaching. And to help us do that, I'd like to call on one of the most inspiring writers on learning that I know, Parker Palmer. His book is called The Courage to Teach, and there are a couple of sentences that I'd like to read to start us off. Teaching and learning are critical to our individual and collective survival and to the quality of our lives as well. The pace of change has us snarled in complexities, confusions, and conflicts that will diminish us or do us in if we do not enlarge our capacity to teach and to learn. That's what this course is about. I am not an advocate of relentless social media. Sometimes social media is the source of complexity and confusion, but I think what we're doing here together is finding the solution using those tools that we now have at our hands. And there's a particular way that I'd like to introduce thinking about technology and about using and learning to use technology. And again, Parker Palmer can help us. He discusses 4 different levels of learning. The first, and I'd like to relate this to how you may have encountered technology in your own learning processes. His first level is, he writes, the question we most commonly ask is the what question. What is it we're learning? So what are we doing with LinkedIn? What are the pieces of LinkedIn? How are we pushing the button? What is it? That's pretty shallow. I mean, you have to, we need to know what we're dealing with. But if we stop there, we really haven't accomplished our goal. So here's the next level that Palmer talks about. When the conversation goes a bit deeper, we ask how, what methods or techniques are required in order to teach and learn this subject. So we've given a little bit of thought to that here. If you, a lot of times there isn't a lot of thought, though, given to the process of learning something new. You buy a book, you might buy a video, you go to a class. It's kind of a one-shot deal. And sometimes when you do it that way, you learn you stay on the surface. What I love about the technology that I'll be using in this class is that I think it creates a hybrid situation where you're learning factual things and we're using technology to learn them, but you're also interacting and thinking and talking with me, with others in the class. And by doing so, we've more closely approximated doing something that's actually the way people learn, the way adults learn, interacting and talking and thinking. And I've also put a front end on this that asks you the question, why? Why does this matter to you? Why is this important to you? And that's Palmer's third level. And I'll read what he says. Occasionally, when it goes deeper still, we ask the why question. For what purpose and to what ends are we undertaking this activity? And this is where a lot of people begin to feel completely overwhelmed and completely tune out of anything to do with social media or technology, because the why isn't clear. We've spent time on the phone, hopefully for many of you before you viewed this video. We have had a phone call. If not, we will shortly. You'll schedule it, and we're going to get at that why. Why is this something that's going to be helpful to you? That's going to be your container and your clarifier so that you are not caught up in activity for activity's sake. You can always come back to your intention. Why am I doing this? If it starts to feel opaque, like a dead end. And then the highest level for Palmer is, and I'll just read his words. He says, but seldom if ever do we ask the who question. Who is the self who teaches and who is the self who learns? How does the quality of my selfhood form the way I relate to this material, relate to others in the class, to this subject, to the world? how can educational institutions, I should be so bold, sustain and deepen the selfhood from which good teaching and learning comes? And I must say, this is an area that really interests me and excites me about social technologies because it does call upon questions about who are you? We're going to deal with it directly in LinkedIn because we're going to look at your personal brand and how you come across to others online. Some people aren't sure. Some people are very clear. And we're all going to have a chance to think and talk about that. Who is this I who shows up and learns this material? So I hope that you'll take this to heart. Looking forward to getting to know you during the class and to working with you and helping you, and we'll see how it goes. Go ahead and follow the directions, if you will, on this screen, and you can breeze through the first part of this and be good to go to dive in when you get into the next section, which really focuses on writing your profile. Again, welcome, and I'm looking forward to working with you.